In this course, I'll walk you through Composer authoring features and shortcuts. Most of the actions you will see in this video are standards and can be accessed in multiple ways, via the Edit or View menu located at the top of Composer, through right-click contextual menu, and via keyboard shortcuts. Don't worry, if you're familiar with the common graphic editing tools of the market, this will look very familiar. Let's start with navigating and managing your view of the active scene. If you look at the bottom left of the canvas, you'll notice a slider and buttons that control the zoom level. This level can also be modified by using the Control key in combination with the scroll of your mouse wheel either up or down. With this mouse technique, the zoom will be centered on the position of your mouse cursor. Pretty handy. If you're more a keyboard fan, you can change the zoom level by combining the Control key with the numpad plus and the numpad minus keys. And to wrap up the zoom topic, note that there are two preset views accessed either in the View menu or by keyboard shortcut. One is Fit Scene, Control 0 on your keyboard, and the other is Zoom to 100%, Control 1 on your keyboard. Moving on, Composer comes, of course, with the well-known and essential undo-redo commands. They can be applied to every action using the traditional Ctrl-Z keyboard shortcuts for undo and Ctrl-Y for redo. Both can be invoked multiple times in a row. An often underappreciated command is duplicate. You can select any element in the scene and with the right-click context menu, select the duplicate option. You can also use the Ctrl-D keyboard shortcut. As an example, let's add a simple button with a trigger and action to the scene. Now let's duplicate it. As you can see, the trigger and action pair are duplicated as well, perfect for saving you some time. If you're a pixel-perfect designer, you want to keep a sharp eye on the details. Intuiface has you covered with rulers, grid, and guides. Open their dedicated window by clicking the icon in the bottom left corner of the canvas. Here, you will find everything you need to launch and configure these useful design tools. As a shortcut, you can easily add guides by single-clicking the horizontal ruler at the top of the canvas or the vertical ruler to the left. Make big changes to these guides using your mouse or move them pixel by pixel using the two side buttons on either side of each guide. The Dynamic Guides feature, activated by typing Ctrl-H on your keyboard, will help you to quickly align elements by sight. Keeping the Shift key pressed will simulate a magnetic lock on one axis, permitting you to move the selected elements among the other axes. Look for these little blue dynamic guides which indicate perfect alignment. Speaking of pixel-perfect requirements, be aware that the movement and rotation of elements can be accomplished not just by manipulating the container and its handles, you can also use the keyboard as well. Select an item in the canvas and then use the direction arrows on your keyboard to move it one pixel at a time. If you hold down the Shift key while tapping on the direction arrows, you will move an item by 10 pixels increments. Meanwhile, holding down the Shift key while clicking and dragging an item's angle handle will cause it to rotate by 15-degree increments. Liking the pixel-by-pixel trick? You can also do that by clicking into any of the 5 elements at the top of an item's Properties panel and then using the up-down direction arrows to increment or decrement them by 1. Use of the grids, along with magnetism, rulers, and guides, is a great help, but when it comes to alignment and distribution of items, there are some built-in mechanics that can make life even easier. If you select 2 items in a scene, you will see a small bar appear on the top of the canvas. In this panel, you can click any of 6 options to quickly perform vertical or horizontal alignments. If you select 3 or more items in addition to the 6 alignment buttons, an additional 6 buttons will appear, enabling you to distribute those items evenly. By the way, these alignment and distribution options can also be accessed in the right-click context menu after selecting your target items. Now let's talk about a great classic, the almighty copy-paste. Accessed through the right-click context menu or via the standard Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V keyboard shortcuts, copy-paste enables you to quickly create new elements based on existing ones. The combination behaves like the duplicate command we saw earlier, including the retention of triggers and actions. But wait, there is more. You can choose to copy and paste just the trigger action pair. To do this, select the original item and open the Trigger and Actions panel. Right-click the trigger and select Copy from the pop-up menu. Now, select your target element in the canvas. Then, head back to the Triggers and Actions panel. Right-click and select Paste. Voila! You've copied a trigger and its associated actions. This approach doesn't just work here, but in the Triggers and Actions detail panel as well, meaning you can copy multiple trigger action pairs, or multiple actions, or just a single actions, and then paste them on another item. Let's shift our focus to the group collection. You can put any number of assorted items into a group. Just select the items you want to group and then use the group option in the right-click context menu or use the Ctrl-G keyboard shortcut. You can continue to do this, nesting groups inside other groups. Ungroup items, select the group and use the ungroup option in the right-click context menu or do the Ctrl-Shift-G keyboard shortcut. When it comes to resizing groups, you have two options depending on whether you want the item to change along with the container. If you simply select the group and then either drag the border handles or change the associate properties, all items inside the group will resize along with the container. If you double-click the group, giving it a dashed border, you'll just be resizing the container, not the content, although you could manipulate each item individually to change their size and position. Finally, let's have a look at interface assets to understand how they're added into an experience. Most of the Intuiface's out-of-the-box interface assets come with what is called a default data template. These are visuals designed to show you what information is available through use of the interface asset. To create the default data template, just drag the interface asset from the Interface Assets panel and onto the canvas. It's magic. Remember, these data templates are just examples. You can change every single aspect or just create your own layout from scratch.